everybody. So in this rock we're doing the Be Happy with some flowers that will be glittered at the end. So first I took a charcoal pencil or a pastel. This is a chalk pencil actually. And I just drew out my design. I started with circles for the placement, and then I'm going in and drawing in the actual petals of the flowers. Now I'm going in. I didn't realize I was so out of frame. Hopefully I'll move that here in a minute. But just working out the text. I do have several videos on actually how to do text and spacing and things like that when you're beginning. So you may check those out. I'm just trying to decide if I want the E to be big or little. You know, just working out the design. And I'm doing kind of a rainbow of colors for the flowers. I'm just pulling out my paints. I use all Liquitex Basics and the Hobby Lobby House brand Master's Touch. Couldn't think of it there for a second. Not a big fan of Master's Touch. Some of their colors I have used in the past and they've turned white on me. I did a big painting of some girls, and they had purple. One of them had purple hair, and I had it hanging on my wall, and I looked at it one day and I was like, why is her hair white? And it literally, the paint had faded from dark purple to white, to canvas white. So they have color fast issues with their paints. I'm not a big fan of it, but it does tell you the color fast rating on the bottle, so some of the colors are not as bad as others. So you are going to use the Master's Touch, the Hobby Lobby House blend, or House brand, sorry, and you're doing something for sale, always double check what their light fast rating is, because you don't want to sell something that's going to fade in less than a year. So now I'm on my rock. I'm just going in and painting in the bottom, which is all black. I will add glitter to this section later, but for now I'm just doing black, and I'm using the Liquitex, which is an airbrush paint, but it's a true black. So I really like that paint. If you've followed any of my videos, you know I use this paint in almost every video. Airbrush paints are a little thinner in consistency too, so they flow a lot better off of the paintbrush. So for lettering and just it's great. Lettering and outlining, that's where I was going with that. I lost my train of thought. Lettering and outlining, a more fluid paint works better. Golden's fluid paints work really well as well as the Liquitex airbrush. I just have a lot of this because I used to use this on window paintings to trap the design, which is basically just outlining the design. They call it trapping. I used the Liquitex on that, and so I have a lot big bottles of it. And when you're pulling lines, if you have mine still shake, even after my surgery, they still shake, so that obviously wasn't caused by the pain in my hand, it was something else. When you're pulling your lines, it's always better to pull towards you than away from you. You'll get a straighter line if you pull towards you. That's why I always paint on a turntable or a Lazy Susan. That way I can always put my project in a position for me to get the best line, especially when I'm doing text. So now I'm just mixing up some paint. I wanted kind of a brighter pink, brighter than the pinks that I currently have. So I was trying to mix up different colors. I finally grabbed a fluorescent pink by Liquitex. This is also an airbrush paint. And added that to my magenta, and that gave me the color that I wanted. But you know, you use whatever colors you want. Now, a lot of my paints are very translucent. Yellows, oranges, pink are all very translucent colors. Some of my greens are as well. So I probably should have erased the inside, the circle that's on the inside where my flower placement was going to go, because I had to do a couple of layers of paint just to cover that kind of placement circle. So you can see there I went over that with water because it is chalk paint. It will dissolve it to get rid of some of those lines. But it's always better to clean up your design before you start painting. I'm a little out of practice. I haven't painted in a long time, so due to my surgery, so I'm a little out of practice. Just bear with me. But don't do what I did. Always make sure to clean up your design before you start painting, especially if you're using translucent colors. And my green wasn't so bad. You can't see through the green like you can the pink, orange, and yellow. And I'm not actually painting on a rock today. This was, it's actually chipboard. I'm running out of cement that I use to make my rock molds. And so I decided to use, I have a ton of chipboard. I have actually a whole case of chipboard. So I've been just cutting circles out of the sheets of chipboard to paint on. Excuse me. So now I'm going over, this is black glitter that I'm going over this, just the black section. And I like to put my glitter on kind of thick so that I don't have any gaps in the glitter placement. If you don't put it on thick, you'll have areas you can see kind of gaps in your glitter. So I like to put it on thick. I'll put several coats on. And now I'm going to glitter all of my flowers. I'm doing the same method again, putting it on thick and then letting it dry. So I had turquoise for the blue, green for the green, gold for my yellow, champagne I used for my orange, and I believe it's called jelly bean, I think, was for the pink. It doesn't matter if your glitter doesn't match exactly. It'll kind of pick up the color, it's the base color. It'll kind of reflect the base color. It won't change it completely. So now I'm just cleaning up my chalk pencil lines while the glitter dries. Excuse me, while the glitter dries. Now I'm just going in and putting back in, outlining the flowers. So where the flower touches the white background, I'm going to outline that in black. And where the flower touches the black background, I'm going to outline that in white and black. And I'm using an eyeliner, disposable eyeliner pencil that I got off of Amazon. These little disposable paint brushes are really good for really fine lines. So you can see I'm going in and outlining around the flower in white. This just separates the flower from that black background. Now I'm going back in and tidying up the black and making sure that if I covered up any of the black with my white paint, going in and fixing those lines. I'm also waiting for the glitter to still dry. You can see on the pink flower, it still needs time to dry. But I get impatient. I don't like to stop and blow dry my pieces. Once I'm, in the painting mode, I just like to paint. I just like to power through. I don't like to take breaks and things like that. So that bites me in the butt occasionally. It's not the best method. You definitely should let your layers dry. And I was going to leave this just like this. And as I looked at it for a while, I thought the centers of the flowers needed to be black. So I am going to go in and paint those black. I actually went back the next day to do that. The flowers didn't pop very much to me and I didn't like it. So I thought the black center would be better. Always make sure to sign your work. So this is actually the next day, and I'm just going in and adding the black centers. I just think it helps make the flowers pop better. And this is one of those rocks, in this case chipboard pieces, that looks a lot better in person. It's so hard to photograph these and make them look as good as they do in person. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll give this rock a try. If you do, make sure to post it over on my private Facebook group, Rocking It with April May. I would love to see everything you do. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.